coming up on this edition of We Are Washington.
The district celebrates hometown hero and comedian Dave Chappelle, plus DC Water's cutting-edge tunnel project.
We're actually building larger tunnels. We go underneath the metro tunnels.
We're taking you deep below ground to check it out.
Then it's a festive kickoff to a new marketplace celebrating Latin culture.
It's kind of like as a way to welcome people who speak a different language.
Join in the celebration of the new venture that's transforming Union Market.
Those stories coming up. The news rundown is straight ahead. We Are Washington starts now.
Welcome to We Are Washington. I'm Matt Granato.
And I'm Cecily Fernandez. This week, we're talking about Dave Chappelle's triumphant return to D.C. A major redevelopment opens at Whitman Walker Clinic, and the first ever Capitol Skate Fest gets things rolling in a big way at the D.C. Armory.
Then it's the story of an historic tunnel project you have to see to believe. We'll take you where few have gone before with a visit 10 stories below D.C. We'll have those stories coming up, but now let's get to the news rundown. October 27th, now officially recognized as Dave Chappelle Day in D.C. in honor of the comedian receiving the prestigious Mark Twain Prize for Humor at the Kennedy Center. Mayor Muriel Bowser presented Chappelle with the proclamation during a visit to his beloved alma mater, Duke Ellington School of the Arts.
Dave has gone around the world and he looks at the same things that everybody looks at, but he looks at it through a lens that's just so different, so comical, but so smart, that he makes us laugh about the things that are funny. He even makes us laugh about the things that are not. And we want to thank you, Dave, for your true talent. I want to thank the teachers and staff and leadership here at Duke Ellington, because in this audience, there's some more Dave Chappelles. And Dave has shown them the way.
You have no idea how much being in front of you guys is inspiring and how much it reminds everybody, like, why we did these things in the first place. Protect your heart, young people. Protect your heart. Don't ever become a cynic. Protect your heart, and you will protect your art. But be a soldier about it, man, and be really, 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 really good to each other at all costs, because I promise you, so many of you will be friends for the rest of your lives.
Much to the delight of students, actor and rapper Common and singer Erykah Badu joined Chappelle during his visit to the school. Chappelle often reflects on the important role that Duke Ellington played in his life, and in 2017 gave the school his Emmy to serve as an inspiration to students. Whitman Walker's redeveloped Elizabeth Taylor building on 14th Street is officially open.
The Community Health Center's block-long development, known simply as Liz, includes 20,000 square feet of ground floor retail and cultural space. Whitman Walker will occupy the second floor for its staff, legal services, public benefits, and research programs. The development is named in honor of actress and HIV/AIDS activist Elizabeth Taylor, who helped finance the original center 25 years ago.
For decades, Whitman Walker has been an international leader in providing care and treatment for HIV and AIDS. It is so important that we learn and don't forget the devastating past that HIV and AIDS rendered in our city. But it is also important to remember that still too many people are being infected, not getting the treatment that they need, and not understanding all of the medical advancements that have been made that will allow them to live a long life.
The district's youngest go-getters were officially recognized as Mayor Bowser declared November 1st National Kidpreneur Day in Washington, D.C. The future business leaders celebrated the day by showing off their products at the Wilson Building. The Kidpreneur Day campaign was created by a D.C. resident to recognize and patronize youth business owners and encourage young entrepreneurs. District city services are receiving high marks in a new survey among residents. The citywide survey conducted by the Office of the D.C. Auditor asked just over 1,200 residents about their experiences dealing with city services. The survey is the first of its kind since 1997, and the results show overall market improvement over the last 20 years. City services residents are most pleased with arts and culture programs, libraries, fire protection, and bus service. More than half of the respondents rated city services as either good or excellent.
DC's top local independent businesses were honored at the 2019 Local First Awards. The awards celebrate local businesses who give back to the community and create a positive impact on the city. Among this year's winners, Congress Heights Arts and Culture Center, Green Thumb Youth Garden, DC Central Kitchen, and Songbird Record Store and Cafe. For a complete list of winners, visit thinklocalfirstdc.org. Mayor Bowser spoke at the Department of Corrections Women's Empowerment Summit. The conference focused on encouraging women to successfully find jobs and take leadership roles in their families upon their return. It was tuxes and tennis shoes at the 25th anniversary celebration of the Recreation Wish List Committee at Southeast Tennis and Learning Center.
The star-studded gala was held under the dome of the landmark $18 million tennis center in Southeast, which was the brainchild of former First Lady Cora Masters-Berry. NBA star Isaiah Thomas was among those who celebrated the work of the center to transform the lives of children through tennis and education.
What Cora Masters-Berry manages to do right here at the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center is nothing short of amazing. The exposure that these kids get here at the center in Southeast Washington, D.C., but also around the city, around our country, around the world, is truly, truly something that should be marveled at. I really appreciate all the work that she puts in. When you see these kids come out here tonight, the performance that they give, it really just warms my heart.
Tennis superstars Venus and Serena Williams served as honorary co-chairs of the gala.
Since 1986, it's been one of the most popular neighborhood traditions in the district. And this year's high heel race did not disappoint. Thousands lined 17th Street for the fabulous costumes, impromptu performances, and the chance to watch hundreds race to the finish line in high heels.
I believe this race is a testament to just how great the district is and how far we can go when we run together. We race to marriage equality. We race to employment and housing protections. We race to gender affirming ID and health care. And we're racing to become the most LGBTQ state in the country.
It was a chance to recapture the magic with an old school skate party at the DC Armory. The first ever Capital Skate Fest gave everyone a chance to strap on the skates and once again celebrate the rich history and culture of roller skating in the district.
Skating's been all around the world. It's been in many states, but especially here. We have a lot of legends that have come out of DC and many other places, but for me and my family, here's our hometown, and it makes much sense to have it here available for the kids at all costs. So let's party.
Thousands came out for Capital Skate Fest and most still had their moves. They definitely did keep their moves. You can see it looked like a lot of fun, Capital Skate Fest. So, today we have a quick minute to recap some of our stories. We're going to talk about Capital Skate Fest a little more. How about this event? This is something that's kind of unique for DC to have these days, but maybe not so long ago.
Yeah, a great event, and we should say, full disclosure, our office, the Office of Cable Television, Film, Music, and Entertainment, was responsible for the Capital Skate Fest. It was a huge success. Over 2,000 people came to the DC Armory to do some skating. And what was interesting, though, it wasn't just people from DC. People from all over the world came to this event. There were 3 DJs. Unfortunately, that day, fortunately and unfortunately, the Nats had just won, the World Series. So we were tied up. I was very much looking forward to seeing how I would do in the roller skates, but we were busy with the Nats that day.
Yes.
But plenty of people packed the DC Armory. Such a great event.
You're right. We were tied up that day. Couldn't make it down, but it probably would have been fun to try. Sure. Finally, last story we want to talk about today. This isn't something that we mentioned in today's news rundown, but in a previous show, we brought you the 2020 Teacher of the Year for the District of Columbia, Justin Lopez Cardozi. He's a 7th grade science teacher at Capital City Public Charter. Everybody was thrilled that he won the award. We brought you the event. There's a little update to his story, and that is the $7,500 that he's been given as part of this prize. He has announced that he's deciding to give to a student who's interested in going to college for science, and he's going to be, foregoing some of his own student loans and being able to maybe take a vacation and some other things that he could probably do with that money in order to help a student who's interested in science that he teaches. And then also he wanted to give the rest to his mother, who's recovering from heart surgery. Story that they put out in the Washington Post about the Teacher of the Year.
Such a great story, and his mother was there when he was given the prize, and you could tell just what a terrific person he was. He thanked his mom, but imagine that you're gonna skip going to Hawaii and give the money instead to one of your students to help them out in college.
And it'll probably make a big impact on that student. So good for him. Thank you. All right. Well, next, travel below ground with me on a tour that at least I know I won't soon forget. Learn about an important DC water project changing the city from 10 stories beneath the surface of the earth.
Then stick around. We're bringing you the kickoff fiesta for the new marketplace celebrating Latin culture in Ward 5.
Welcome back to We Are Washington, and if you can't tell by the gear that we have on, we have something pretty special planned for you today. We're here at a site DC Water is putting together. It's a very special project. If you're somebody who lives in DC, this is going to benefit you in ways that you probably don't even know about. Tell us a little bit about what we're doing here and the work that's going on and has been going on that DC Water is doing.
So we have an old antiquated sewer system that was built in the 1800s called combined sewer system. So we're building metro-sized tunnels to capture this sewage. That sewage that would normally overflow every time it rains into the Anacostia is now being diverted in our first phase of the tunnel system, about 7 miles of tunnel from RFK Stadium down to Nat Stadium, all the way down to near National Harbor to Blue Plains Wastewater Treatment Plant, and gets properly treated. Since the first phase of the tunnel segment has come online, we've caught 6.3 billion, not million, but billion gallons of sewage that would have ended up the Anacostia and Potomac.
This all sounds interesting, so I really can't wait to get down there and see for myself what's going on. Are you ready to go?
Yes, sir.
All right, let's go.
For this tour of the Northeast Boundary Tunnel, we suited up in the necessary safety gear and made our way to the elevator shaft to begin the 100-foot descent to the tunnel opening. As we descended, you could hear the sounds of construction and feel the temperature change. When all is said and done, this tunnel will be 27,000 feet. While not yet complete, today we're going to travel down another 8,000 feet to see the boring machine named Chris, where crews work around the clock to dig an average of 60 feet a day. To reach the boring machine, we climb in a rail car that will take us deep underground in the dark, a path traveled by workers and equipment multiple times a day. This lengthy trip will only get longer as the work progresses.
But where are we heading on the train now?
So we've constructed a tunnel over the last 6 months from basically the shaft to the current site. The shaft itself is in the southwest corner or southwest parking lot of RFK Stadium. We've basically constructed from this shaft east and then north.
We pull up to the work site and climb onto the rig that is set up to move the equipment and concrete pieces into place that create the tunnel. Dark, loud, and wet, the noise surrounds you the closer you get to the boring machine, a sophisticated piece of equipment that performs 2 tasks at once.
We mine and build the tunnel at the same time. So we basically mine 6 feet, we stop the machine, and then we proceed to build a ring of tunnel using those 7 segments. Each of those segments weighs 10,000 pounds apiece. We put those 7 segments together to make a ring of tunnel. Then we turn around and we push the tunnel boring machine off that same tunnel we've just constructed and mine 6 more feet. That material that we mine goes on a conveyor belt system that runs the length all the way from the tunnel boring machine back to the shaft.
Concrete moves in and dirt moves out. There's a lot coming and going out of this tunnel work site, and by year 2023, this tunnel will be filled with wastewater that is currently the primary source of pollution for the Anacostia River. This tunnel will have a minimum lifespan of at least 100 years, but will no doubt serve many generations of Washingtonians to come. But before any of that happens, it's time for us to make our way back to the surface.
All right, thank you, sir. That was a privilege. I'm really excited we got a chance to go see it. And, what do you think about this vest? Does it make for a good souvenir?
It's a good-looking vest, but we need it back, so give us it back to us. Thank you.
So no souvenir for you.
I didn't get a souvenir that day. They checked us at the gate to make sure that we didn't have our hard hat and vest on us.
I have to say, such a fascinating story, but I don't know if I could have done that. I mean, wasn't it intimidating to go that far down?
Was.
And I feel like I would have felt kind of claustrophobic.
And full disclosure, when we were talking about doing this story, I thought we were going to get in the elevator shaft, head to the bottom of it, look around, and say, wow, this is a pretty great project, and head back up. And it turns out we got on a train and it went further down to the front of the project that they were at that point, where they were digging the next pieces of it. And I did not know we were going to be taking that far of a trip down below the earth.
Wow, and you're just hoping, I hope we're going to make it out of here.
A little, yeah.
And you mentioned that they're about halfway done with this project?
For this phase, yeah. They're close to, they finished phase 1, phase 2 that they're on, they are about halfway done. And phase 1 already being implemented has actually already benefited the city. It saved the city a lot of money and a lot of cleanup from some floods that happened in the summer of 2019. If you remember some of the storms that occurred here, there was some flooding, but what Carlton Ray had told me was that it would have been much worse and it would have been much more extensive had that combined sewer system not been in place, because that moved the water out efficiently and quickly to where it needed to get to. So they're already seeing big dividends off of this project.
Yes, and they know it's working.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great.
That's right. Well, we have more coming up after the break. Come with us and witness the latest transformation happening at Union Market.
Welcome back. Viva la Cosecha. It's a new marketplace infusing Union Market with Latin culture, and it's quickly becoming a must-visit location in Ward 5.
Its English translation means the harvest. La Cosecha's 20,000 square feet of food, shopping, and entertainment is celebrating the vibrant and diverse culture and offering a new experience for customers.
It's people that make the place. That could be why Union Market has served as the community meeting place where neighbors, students, tourists, and artists have celebrated a mix of permanent and pop-up food stands along with unique events since 2012. The neighborhood's transformation, fueled in part by Union Market, is now laying claim to the addition of a brand new marketplace celebrating Latin American culture.
The purpose is to support Latina designers and to bring visibility of Latino culture to the mainstream.
Say hello to La Cosecha. The 20,000 square foot market is making its debut to area residents with a block party as vibrant and rich as the cultures it represents.
We are a growing ethnicity, but we are very underrepresented in business and politics and entertainment, so this is a way to grow it.
The brand new communal plaza serves as the public square, hosting high-spirited celebration, live musical performances, and dancing. La Cosecha brings with it a robust list of restaurants and retail destinations with the mission of connecting DC residents to an array of Spanish-speaking countries from around the globe.
I miss things from home and I miss the crafts that we had abroad, but it was very hard to find things here that reminded me of home. These things that are here are truly unique. Everything that you see is either handmade by a woman designer and artisan.
In addition to adding food, music, and culinary experiences for the community, La Cosecha also serves a philanthropic mission.
A lot of our projects have a nonprofit behind it.
A percentage of sales goes towards funding the La Cosecha Foundation, benefiting organizations such as the Carlos Rosario School, a place teaching technical skills to immigrants.
It's kind of like as a way to welcome people who speak a different language, and for a lot of us who are first generation or who immigrated to this country, it's like a nice welcoming sign.
La Cosecha serves one of the United States' fastest growing populations.
To bring our culture and the things like the raíces and everything, our roots that we love together, and just to say we're here and we're not going anywhere either.
So if you know the Union Market area, that part of the city is growing. It's constantly kind of expanding and becoming more. And this is a great addition to that area, something for people to go check out. It's not in Union Market, but it's right near there. It's in that entire district. So.
And I have to say, we are so spoiled.
I know.
Because we are in striking distance of Union Market. So this is all, something we can do at lunchtime.
Go check
it's
out.
a great addition.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the time that we have for today, but we do have time for one last thing.
Well, Matt, as you know, I recently participated in the DC's Dancing Stars Gala. Which is a big fundraiser, but it's based on the Dancing with the Stars show.
Right.
And so this was a very terrifying and challenging adventure for me.
Yeah.
I was dancing on behalf of the Raymond A. Wood Foundation, which raises money for pediatric survivors of brain tumors and their families. So it was a great cause. We raised a ton of money that night. And as you can see, it was a lot of fun, a lot of dancing. I had a great professional dance instructor who kind of dragged me through learning the dance, and
Does that make it intimidating, or does that actually help to have it? Like, you have somebody who does this professionally and they do it all the time, and are you intimidated to go ahead and say, all right, well, I want to show you what I can do, or is it nice to have them there to sort of help out?
Well, you start off, if you're like me, you start off like, let me show you what I can do.
Yeah.
And then you quickly realize that you can't do anything, and then you defer to your professional dance instructor.
They bring you back to
but it's a great fun evening. So hopefully next year you'll be participating.
Oh no, I doubt it. But that sounds great for you, and I'm glad you participated and it went well. Hopefully we'll be seeing more of this on the show.
Definitely. I'm going to bring you the whole process.
Good. But until then, what did the judges have to say?
Well,
just a sneak peek.
Mixed.
We don't want to give it all away.
I will say I got 2 9s and an 8.5.
Okay, all right.
So I felt okay about that. But I really wanted a 10, but there's room for improvement.
All right, well, we're going to look forward to seeing more of that coming up on a future show of We Are Washington. But while you're waiting for that feature, we've got plenty of other features for you to check out, because, while that's all we have for today, we have a lot on YouTube. If you search Entertain DC and go to our playlist, you can check out full episodes. You can check out a lot of the other features that we've done. I mean, you can pretty much go check out anything you want to see, though. We've done it all at this point.
There's so much there. I'm worried that you're just going to get sucked in and you might not be able to do anything else.
That's right. Well, that's all the time we have for today.
See you next time.